Hi guys, a very warm welcome here at Classic Youngtimers Consultancy in Uden. Behind me a lovely car, a 1933 Rolls-Royce. Today we'll talk you through car design for coach building and specifically shooting brakes. The shooting brake originated many years ago. Surely most people know shooting brakes of cars like this lovely Rolls-Royce behind me. But the story of the shooting brake is a lot older. Around the 1800s, people, mainly aristocrats in Great Britain, had horse-drawn carriages, and an open cart, that was a shooting brake. Some of them were used to train young horses, but most of them were used to carry shooting parties with their guns, their tweed jackets and their dogs. This was an open car, so they could look around, get out quickly and shoot. People are not entirely sure where it comes from originally, but the word brake, some of them say it is actually a Dutch word called brick. Brick was a carriage, a cart, a horse-drawn carriage, and the shooting brick or shooting brake was thus a open cart for hunting. The very first and early shooting brakes were manufactured around the 1900s in the UK when the first cars would appear. Usually two-door or four-door cars were used as a base vehicle to work with, and they would be converted to a shooting brake. So shooting brakes wouldn't come out of the factory. Then in the 60s and the 70s, shooting brakes would be manufactured in very low volume by car manufacturers. So think for instance of the DB5 Aston Martin that was converted into a shooting brake. Why? Well, because the gentleman who owned it liked to take his dog in the car and the dog would ruin the leather seat. So the gentleman had his car converted to a shooting brake so the dog could go in the back. Later the term shooting brake became sort of synonymous with a sporty car because of these cars in the 70s. Perhaps you know the Lynx Aventer shooting brake based on the Jaguar XJS. These cars were very sporty and a bit less luxurious than the car standing behind me. Many years later, Mercedes-Benz reintroduced, if you like, the word shooting brake in 2012 with their Mercedes-Benz CLS-based shooting brake. So, although some brands might use the term shooting brake as a marketing term, a proper shooting brake is a car that has been converted, just like the car standing here right behind me. This is a car that was produced in the 30s, 1932, 1933, a 2025 brake horsepower Rolls-Royce chassis, and it was delivered to the Netherlands. This is an originally Dutch car in January 16th of 1933. This car was actually shown on what later was the Autorij for the Dutch amongst you, the Amsterdam Motor Show in 1933. The car features a Van den Plas front end. Van den Plas was a coach builder, and everything behind the A-pillar was later converted in the UK. So the car was sold to the Netherlands, was shipped to the UK around the 40s, where it was converted to a shooting brake. It's not entirely known who did the actual conversion, but as you can see, they did a rather lovely job. So now you know everything about what a shooting brake is. Thanks to this lovely 1933 Rolls-Royce. The car now is, as you can see, back in the Netherlands on Dutch plates after it spent a while in California. The car is owned by a real shooting brake lover, and that brings us to the future of car design and mainly to the future of coach building and shooting brakes.